Welcome to a long-awaited, long-anticipated, at least that's what I tell myself, episode of Ask Britt Shit. As always, I have my trusty Jack D with me. Actually, no, this is Gentleman Jack. That's the glass. I don't know if you can tell. So the nasty, reflection. But I got a holiday gift bundle for Christmas, and it was Gentleman Jack with some Gentleman Jack glasses. So I was like, I'll be fancy. So I'm going to address two of the most common questions I've been getting as of late. And by as of late, I mean for the past few weeks and for the past, 3 days. The first question is, what's up with your hair, dude? It's not really blonde anymore. The red's gone. The black's kind of gone. What happened? This is a good look for me. This is good. This is the either I am homeless or I just got railed by 10,000 humans look. Anyway, so my hair. So as you may or may not remember, no, it was so long ago. My hair was pretty blonde on top, then it had red, and then it had black underneath that. And it had been that way for several years, maybe only about 3. And it was really cool. It was different, and a lot of people, when they would see it, they'd be like, oh my god, your hair's awesome and crazy and cool. But to me, because I had it so long, it just felt like I had just one color of hair. I had just all blonde hair, all dark hair. It didn't matter. It just was boring to me, and it didn't feel exciting. I wasn't super excited to play with it or do anything with it. So I went to a hairstylist and I said, let's do something different. And this is what she came up with. I really didn't have much of an input in it. I just said, do whatever you want to do, and that's where it is now. And this kind of ties me into the second question I've been getting a lot, which on Facebook, my Facebook page was called blondenerd.com. And I recently changed it to my actual name, which is Brittney Brombacher. That's a fun last name to try to have people spell. And I have 100,000 fans or something. Thank you all so much. And a lot of them noticed that seemingly overnight, no longer are they getting notifications from blondenerd.com, but this weird chick named Brittney Brombacher. Well, that is me. And a lot of people are like, why did you change it? Why? I changed it for a couple reasons, maybe a couple. I don't know. I'm just going to start talking, and you can decipher the reasons, how many reasons there are. The first one, and the most important one, is that I felt like it would probably be better if I was known for my actual name than someone named the Blonde Nerd. And obviously, now that my hair isn't that blonde anymore, it kind of makes sense that I wouldn't be known as blondenerd.com for my entire life. And I know blonde is not, what is it? What's that? I said this earlier. Blonde is not a color, it is a lifestyle. I don't know. Anyway, point being that, the blonde, when I created the URL blondenerd.com, I kind of meant it as, how blondes have this stereotype of oh my god, and that's the stereotype, and I'm kind of that way in the sense that I'm always perky, fun. I try to be optimistic, outgoing in video game social settings. IRL, I'm kind of shy. Don't tell anyone. And so I'm like, hey, that kind of encompasses me. Plus, at the time, I had blonde hair. Plus, at the time, I was 22 at the time, and I didn't really know what I was doing. And so that's what I settled upon. So, for that reason, I was like, I'm not really blonde anymore. Granted, I'm blonde internally, but I can always change my hair color now and not be tied down to blonde nerd. Granted, my URL is still blonde nerd, but I feel like it's more important if I go by my name on all my social channels, because, and this kind of goes into the other reason for it, people, when I would come to video game appointments at PAX or E3 or whatever, they'd be like, oh, okay, so who are you? I'm like, oh, I'm Brittney. They're like, we don't have a Brittney on here. We have a blonde nerd. Could that be you? And I was like, yes. And it's kind of an awkward, a little embarrassing, kind of not. So maybe there's some aspect of professionalism in there, as ironic as that sounds coming from me. I don't know. And another reason would be people would, they would see me and they'd want to say hi, but they would always say, hey, blonde nerd, blonde nerd, blonde nerd. And when you're in a big, video game convention floor and you hear someone saying blonde nerd, it doesn't really register with your brain as much as, Brittney would. So I figured, hey, you should get to know me by my name and other reasons. I talked for a lot on those 2 topics. All right, with all of that rambling over, we can actually get to some questions that you have sent me personally. The first one comes from Michael Gonzalez, and Michael asks, Reb is getting so big. It's so cute how attached he is to you. No, I love, Reb is my dog, for those of you wondering. He is almost 9 months. He's a yellow lab. I'm sure you've seen pictures, or I know I've had him in a video or two, and this is so big. He's like almost 50 pounds, and it's like, oh, he's so amazing. Second part of that question, how are you enjoying Life is Strange? Couldn't help but notice you playing it lately on the PlayStation 4. Dude, Life is Strange is just so... Oh, I love Life is Strange so much. I have to like gather my thoughts here, and so I can like try to give them to you in a organized manner. Thoughts organized. Okay, so one of the reasons that I love Life is Strange is the main character, Max, Maxine, but she goes by Max. I really relate to her. Max is the kind of character that I think is well-rounded. She can get along with everyone and anyone. She doesn't have a lot of best friends, but she has several acquaintances. She's easygoing, go with the flow. You know, she doesn't speak up too often. At least that's the way I had her played. But she doesn't take any shit either. And that is exactly how I was in high school. You know, I didn't belong to any clique. I was never one of the popular kids. We had a class of like 2,000 people, so it was kind of hard to be popular when you had so many different diverse groups and whatnot hanging out. She and I too was very like go with the flow way, and I still am. Like, I feel like I can get along with almost anyone unless you're a complete asshole, then I want nothing to do with you. And because I could relate with Max, I felt like a 27-year-old, I'm getting so old, person who has been out of high school for almost 10 years, I felt like I was kind of giving Max the best high school experience she could have, if that makes any sense. Granted, not all of Life is Strange takes place in a high school. It's not like that, but it is kind of heavy for the first episode, and you kind of touch base on it with different people and blah, blah, blah. But it was cool for me because I'm like, you know, if I could do high school all over again, I would definitely speak out more. I would definitely embrace who I was more. I wouldn't try to hide. I never really hid the fact that I was a big nerd, but I definitely did not embrace video games like I do today. I didn't understand the impact that it had on my life. I wasn't like a video game industry worshiper like I am today. So for that reason, and Max's hobby is photography. So I'm thinking like, Max, like, you follow your photography and you don't take shit from people and you do what you want to do and you follow your dreams and you know, feel like I was nurturing and guiding this girl. And that actually gave me a really like vicarious yet very like comforting and rewarding experience. Does that make any sense? I don't know if that makes any sense. But I imagine if you feel like a mom, that's kind of, what do you want, Siri? Don't talk to me. Jeez. Anywho, Life is Strange. It's not for everyone, but if you like the games, like, you know, the narratives, how they play out, like, let's say Until Dawn or Heavy Rain or those kind of games where, you know, you kind of like go through the game and you make a decision, then you can interact with things, read up on things, discover more about the story, and move along, make a decision. It's really, really good. Like, I love the story. It's just, I don't want to say any more than that because I don't want to spoil anything, but you should totally try it. I don't know why I'm grabbing a water bottle right now, but I am. And finally, our final question comes from Warren Mundell. Warren asks, regular Jack, gentleman Jack, or single barrel Jack, and why? Well, friends, I have upgraded. While I do enjoy my Jack Daniels, my regular Jack D, you can never go wrong with that. That's actually my go-to drink whenever I go out. I've noticed that Gentleman Jack goes down a lot smoother, and it doesn't make me feel so crappy the next day. Like, granted, like, I'm just having like a little glass here. It's not going to affect me at all. But if I were to, like, let's say I'm going out in the town and I'm going to be drinking with friends for God knows how long, I will definitely order Gentleman Jack, because I have noticed that as I get older, just the regular whiskey, sometimes, you know, it makes me feel a little crappy in the morning. I start feeling my age, and that's not good. So I would say, like, my go-to chill drink, like oh, I'm having one drink, I'm going to chill out, would be just a regular Jack. If I'm going to be definitely drinking, I now do Gentleman Jack. Single Barrel Jack I've had once, and I remember it was really smooth, but it's not like I don't drink it regularly, so. Thanks so much for watching, friends. I appreciate your eyeballs and your mouse clicks. Okay, getting awkward. So, yeah, like, if you ever want to send me a question yourself, you can do it on Facebook, Twitter, email. I almost said MySpace. That was really weird. I don't know where that came from. I don't even know this is the thing with my MySpace account, is I was so paranoid about people finding me back then. I said I was like a 47-year-old man from the Western Sahara. And so for that reason, I cannot find my old accounts, and I cannot get into it and get all my old pictures. Because it's kind of an embarrassing account, because that's when I was with an ex-boyfriend, and all of my pictures are of, like, us, and Hopefully no one will ever find that account. And then all of you try to go find it. All right. Anyway, guys, yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. What am I doing with that?